Diana Andrews, State Farm Insurance, CNC Farm and Home Supply, Animal Care Clinic, Mid-Missouri Bank, HMI Fireplace, MD Lux, and Grand Missouri Bank. Now let's join Matt and Clay live from Barge's Pizza.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coach's Corner here from Barge's Pizza, just south of the Bolivar Square, where every Wednesday night we interview Coach Robert Clardy, talk about last week's games, upcoming games, and make our picks. And this is Matt Hennenberg, along with Coach Robert Clardy, Sutton, Medley, Clay Meyer on assignment in Jefferson City. And he won't be joining us tonight, but he'll be on the air Friday night with us as we travel to Carl Junction to take on the Bulldogs in the Ozark Mountain Conference Showdown game. And, Coach, let's talk about Hillcrest a little bit. You get a nice win, 28-7.
Yeah, and we talked a lot last week about just next man up mentality and finding out with all the injuries we got and just really the guys preparing. So whenever that opportunity showed up in the game, they were ready to go out and take advantage of that. And a lot of our goals that we went into the game with starting fast, those things, taking care of the football, winning the turnover margin. We executed a lot of those things. So there was a lot of things to be proud of, a lot of things to take away and carry over. Still some things. I told him going into the game, I wanted it to be the most complete game we've played this year. And that's just putting all of those things together, all three phases. And yes, we're going to make a mistake, but bend, but don't break. And there's just a few things here that still got to continue to improve on. But no, overall, just really happy with how we came out and played and kind of established starting fast offensively, going down to scoring on our first drive, getting a stop on the first drive, and not just at the beginning of the game, but also halftime, coming out at the second half and doing the same thing, getting a stop and then going down and scoring on our first drive again. That can really just set the tempo for the whole half and gain momentum on both sides of the ball. So really proud of how they did that. That was one of our goals, and they went out and executed that.
We talk about that a lot in the box. We call it the middle eight.
Yeah.
If you score right before the half and then you get the first, that just seems to set the tempo for the game. I always talk about, I had a stats class with Dr. Dwayne Trogdon at SBU. 83% of the time, the team that scores before the halftime wins the ball game. So, I mean, that is really important, and we stress that. And you guys did play a great middle eight.
I would have loved to have gotten us some points there at the end of the first half there at that last drive. I mean, we had an opportunity to we kind of the change there at the kicker pregame with Wyatt just kind of being a little banged up and really wanted to take care of him from a soccer standpoint, not put him in a position where he injures himself. So went with Jake, and Jake came in, did a great job, made some kicks. He's actually out there kicking today at practice, and that's the best he's looked. He continues to get better at that, and punting continues to get better. And we changed the long snapper this week. Knox Woolhoy did an outstanding job. Actually snapped it so hard that it went through Jake's hands on that one. But Jake did a great job, came through there. The one that one he missed, I mean, just kind of came across the ball, just kind of pulled it straight left, just kind of a miss hit. And then whenever I got everybody in the huddle, I mean, he wanted to kick it. He was ready to go. He was confident, which I love. But the offense, like, hey, we want a touchdown. Let's go finish this thing. I think we can score right here. Got a great play call. Just our spacing was a little off. We score on that if we get our spacing right from a wide receiver standpoint. But no, it would have been awesome to get some points there before the half. But knowing that we get an opportunity to come out and set the tone in the second half, and the guys did that as well.
Well, we didn't know about Wyatt not being there. So Jake. Now, I've known Jake since he came here.
Yeah.
Good friends with his family. And I was like, is that Jake? Wait a minute. Our Jake? And here's this freshman kid, and it's a big conference game, a big crowd. Yeah, he was pretty good. We thought maybe the one that didn't go in might have got blocked. It's hard for us to see. He just missed it.
Yeah, I just missed it. And Wyatt was there. He tried going in pregame and just was not feeling 100%. So I looked at Jake and I was like, "Hey man, you're up, dude." And he was like, he came up to me before the opening kickoff. He goes, "Coach, I'm so nervous." I was like, "Dude, hey, pressure's a privilege, man. You have an opportunity to kick in a varsity game as a freshman and get on the field and make some plays. Not a whole lot of people get that opportunity. So just go out there and be you. Just go out there and do what you do during practice." And he went out there, and you could tell he was nervous on that first kickoff. But after that, he settled in and did a great job.
And actually, we were talking about his kickoffs, the way he knuckles that down the middle. That's a really effective tool. If you can't kick it out of the end zone, that's the best option you got, really.
Yeah. And he does a really good job with that. And like, whenever I told Wyatt to do that the first time, I mean, he booted it so hard it got to the back returner like in no time. I mean, we didn't have time to get down the field, but just understanding it and seeing it and being coachable, both of those guys do a great job. But no, they were having problems fielding those, and you'd think, hey, they do that every day in practice because that's what their kickoff team does. And we had to practice it a lot last week. I thought we did a really good job with our KOR hands team of really adjusting because they came out in so many different formations and had opportunities to kick it both ways. We saw it again Monday night at the JV game, and our guys did a great job with that. We didn't allow a single onside recovery. So, but Jake did a good job of that, changing where we're going to kick it, just being able to do sky kicks, squib kicks, deep kicks, all those different things really kind of just makes it easier for him to go.
Well, that bodes pretty well for our future if you got him. And it's not, I'm not knocking the soccer team, but if you don't have to count on a soccer player, it's nice to have one there that can kick that's just a football player. So let's go back to the injuries a little bit. We noticed this, still no Braden Long, still no Colt Hill last week, and no Evan Nichols. And you still got Kozlowski out. Who else was out?
Brylan Stiggers.
Stiggers. Stiggers.
So a lot of starters there in the secondary and at wide receiver positions. Almost all of them start somewhere. And still just trying to be smart about when to get those guys back and not bring them back too early. And just be smart there and making sure that whenever guys get opportunities like we saw this past week, not just out on offense and defense, but we had freshmen on the depth chart for special teams and guys running down the field making plays. And whenever I needed somebody, I was like, that also Friday night was the best our sideline has ever been, like this season. Whenever I turn around on a special teams and me and Coach Kirby are going through, like calling out starters, making sure we got everybody. If we don't have somebody, I turn, there's 5 guys standing right there staring at me like, hey, I'm ready. If you need me, let's go. And guys not even on the depth chart, like just freshmen hungry to get on the field. And so I talked to him about that after the game, just how much I love how engaged and locked in that they were throughout the game. And that's what we need because, I mean, those guys are our future, and those are good quality reps that they can get right now in special teams and not having a whole lot of responsibility of being the ever down guy offensively and defensively. So just gets them a lot of good experience, but those guys did a great job on the sideline for those injured guys really stepping in and helping out.
Well, you talked about the turnovers. You had no fumbles, no interceptions. First time we've had that all season. They really covered that pretty well, I
think they're tired of hearing us say every single week our goal is to take care of the football. The ball is everything. We say it the same way. So this week I changed that. I said we want to end every possession with a kick, and that means if we have to punt, we got to punt. Well, we're going to kick a field goal. Let's kick a field goal.
Or kick off.
Or kick off. We want to end every possession with a kick, and that means taking care of the football and winning the turnover margin. So those are just crucial stats. You guys know that to give you the edge in a football game, especially against a really good team like Carl Junction.
Well, you had 183 yards passing and 177 yards rushing, so a good balance in your offense.
Pretty balanced, and I think Chap just did a really good job of pre-snap reads. You guys probably saw that. His pre-snap decisions, getting the ball out of his hands quick, getting it to our playmakers in space. Our tempo, that's something that we haven't really been able to do this year, and we were like, you know what, we got to press the tempo. That's our identity as an offense. Really started to finally see that and from the first drive on. I mean, and especially as opening up the second half whenever we know they don't need a break. Coach Claybo was pretty good at understanding, okay, defense just had a long drive. Let's take it slow here. Let's get a couple first downs, and we can speed up the tempo a little. So, but no, I thought it was very balanced. Whenever we are like that, and Cyrus only has to carry the ball 18 times, unlike the Marshfield game where Colt carried it, I think, 39 times, and then Cyrus added another 11, 12 on top of that. That's just a lot of that's a lot of hits on the running backs, but that's a lot of hits on the interior offensive line. I mean, those guys, when we're lining up in those heavy formations, that's a lot of hitting right there at the line of scrimmage. So the more we can spread it out and be balanced, it takes some of those big hits off of those linemen throughout the game and kind of can keep them fresher throughout. So getting the ball to playmakers in space, and it's really just comes back to Chap making great decisions before the snap, and I think he did a really good job with that.
I'd have to agree with everything you said was just dead on. I couldn't tell that the freshman kicker was nervous.
Yeah,
I thought
he was.
He went out there and he looked like he does this every day. This is no problem. I can do this, and he did do it. So I was surprised to hear that he was nervous, but he done a great job. But the next man up analogy, that's perfect. That's perfect for him. I mean, and as a freshman, for you to get those freshmen in, to get them quality minutes in a game that matters on a Friday night, that's money in the bank.
Oh, yeah, because now next year, whenever he lines up to do that.
He's been there and done that.
He's been there, and he's seen what those guys look like across from him. And all those guys that have told us are like Shakir McCoy, whenever he had another great JV game this week. He's like, man, the speed is just completely different on a Friday night. I'm like, yeah, it is. He said so everything slowed down for him. I think he had 3 touchdowns in the JV game on Monday night, and it just, the game slows down. And so those reps that he's getting now on Fridays, he's helping us out with injuries. The same thing with Jake and some other freshmen helping us out with injuries. But that's just going to slow the game down for them whenever we take the field versus Osage next year. The game's just going to be at a different speed for them. And Colt Hill and those guys, they said the same thing whenever they started getting out on the field and making big plays for us. So it adds value to the future of our program too, but it's also helping us right now with all those injuries we got.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had 5 guys get catches. That's pretty good. Chapel spread it around pretty good, so they couldn't focus on anybody. 1 touchdown for Bliss in the air. Lucas Polk ran the ball, and he got a touchdown. Pretty good job.
So rewarded him for getting hawked on the one on that fumble recovery. And also seeing new guys step up too, with Dorian not getting a whole lot of offensive snaps this year. He was another guy that was nervous.
He had a really good game.
He was another guy that you wouldn't think would be nervous going out there. But he's like, I haven't played wide receiver yet. I don't know what this is going to be like. And one of our first big, I think it was the 3rd down. We run the speed out with our number 2, and he just runs by the corner, and Chap didn't even hesitate, just throws him a fade ball in stride, and Dorian did it like he's been doing it since week 1, but he hadn't. So it's just a lot of confidence that Chap had in him, but also that Dorian had, that he can go out there and make a play, and that was a huge play to kind of change the momentum of that drive. Then the very next play, I think, is when we scored, throwing the bubble out to Paul, and then Evan Mortensen blocking his tail off out there on the edge, being the reason somebody else scored a touchdown. So seeing all those things come together that we preach about all the time in practice was pretty cool to see it on that drive.
And Clay mentioned that in the game that Gonzalez, he hadn't been on the offense, but he got 4 catches for 68 yards and 17-yard average is pretty darn good. Really just Lucas ran the ball twice, but then really the workhorse until the end of the game was Cyrus. But it's nice to see senior Kevin Coven Parks come in and run the ball and ran pretty effectively.
He runs hard. He's not going to hesitate. He's not going to dance around. He's going to go. He's going to get north and south. So that's something we really like about him too, is he's going to take care of the football, but he's going to run extremely hard. And his patience too has really come a long way since I started working with those guys in March. Really seeing how, because being in shotgun and doing that zone read stuff is completely different with them. They've got to be more patient. They've got to wait for the QB to get the ball, because there is that read there that he has to go slow through the mesh. And getting him to slow down early was tough because he wanted to go so fast. And you can see it once he gets the ball, how much he wants to be downhill. So he does a great job with that. But having him, and then having the ability to get Chap some carries too. Chap did a really good job. He had his longest run of the year, I think, in the game on that 3rd down where he stepped up, cut back. Probably could have gotten more yards if he stayed on it, but instead of cutting back again. But no, and then having him be able to pull it and get vertical on one of those power reads that we had just adds different elements that we don't like to run him a whole lot, because we got a freshman quarterback behind him. We want to try and keep that man upright as much as possible, but his feet don't hurt us. Whenever he gets out of the pocket, he can make great things happen. So be able to run with him a little bit and just add that extra blocker in the box by having the quarterback that can run the ball.
And we mentioned that too. He had some good runs. His long was a 20. We're like, hey, he probably needs to run more. And Clay goes, well, we got a freshman back. And you can see where you wouldn't want to do that. But he's a very efficient runner.
Yeah.
So it looked like all the decisions he made, whether passing or running, was just spot on. I mean, he was doing what he needed to do decision-wise. Seemed like all night long.
Yeah, just his best overall game. And I think a lot of that, too, is with him and Coach Claybo really just simplifying everything we wanted to call, to where those decisions he was going to make were going to be quick ones. They were going to be pre-snap. kind of that same philosophy that West Plains had against us. Well, hey, where can I steal 4 yards? Where can I get the ball out to my playmakers? And if that means throw a 5-yard speed out to my outside receiver when Dorian runs a 5-yard speed out, just throw it to him. He catches it, falls out of bounds for 6 or 7. That's a 7-yard gain. And now once they start to lighten the box a little bit, now we can attack them in between the tackles. So he just did a really good job pre-snap reads there versus the defense that they were showing and put us in a really good position to be successful.
Well, we need to send it back to the studio for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Coach's Corner on MoSportsZone.com, listening on Your Country 99.
Is anything better than a hot, cheesy slice of pizza fresh out of the oven? Barge's Pizza in Bolivar believes great pizza is meant to be shared. Grabbing lunch with coworkers, feeding the whole family, or surprising a neighbor just because. There's one golden rule. Be nice. Share a slice. Bubbling pepperoni to fresh margarita with mozzarella, basil, and fine ripened tomatoes. Every bite's made with love and meant to be shared. Make someone's day delicious. In Bolivar, south of the square on Main Street. Barge's Pizza.
At Animal Care Clinic, they're not just another veterinary clinic. They're your pet's best friend. Their team, led by Doctors Levin and Lindsay Roten, offer top-notch care for all animals, big and small. From intensive care and checkups to pet supplies and grooming, they've got it covered. Keep your furry friend healthy and happy. Schedule an appointment today at animalcarebolivar.com. That's animalcarebolivar.com. Animal Care Clinic. Their name says it all.
Mr. Google wants you to think you can fix your car on the internet. If you can just figure out what's wrong without talking to those greedy dealers, you'll save lots of money. At Bill Grant Ford, our appointment book fills every week with people who started on Google. And you might be surprised to know the labor rate in our shop is not the highest in town. What we can do for you is bring experience and training to a world filled with internet noise. We encourage you to be informed when it comes to maintaining your vehicle. And when your vehicle starts asking for help, see why it's better in Bolivar at Bill Grant Ford.
Hey gang, wherever you are, CNC Farm and Home in Bolivar and Lebanon has you covered. Complete clothing department for both men and women. Their hardware, electrical, and plumbing departments have what you need to get that job done right. For the farm, CNC has fencing supplies from pipe gates, barbed wire, and animal health supplies. And for our furry friends, CNC has toys for cat and dog food and, of course, dog houses. You can depend on the Colemans at CNC Farm and Home in Bolivar and Lebanon.
Hey, this is Paul at CNC Farm and Home Supply. If you have the questions, we have the answers.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner, live from Barge's Pizza, just south of the Bolivar Square. I want to thank all our fine sponsors that bring you the Coach's Corner. Of course, Barge's Pizza, our main sponsor, and then Shelter Insurance, Craig Lehman Agency, Bill Grant Ford, McCarthy Drilling, Deanna Andrews State Farm Insurance, CNC Farm and Home Supply, Animal Care Clinic, Mid-Missouri Bank, HMI Fireplace, MD Lux, and Grand Missouri Bank. Thank you to all those folks for bringing us the Coach's Corner here every Wednesday night. Well, we talked about last week's win. We got a tough one coming up tonight with a long road trip over to the west side of the state, almost into Kansas.
Really close.
It's really close. Carl Junction, and they took a pretty tough loss last week, but that's going to be a tough game for your boys.
Yeah, for sure. They're obviously a really good football team. They've got a lot of ways that they can attack you offensively. They've got they have a great scheme defensively. Obviously very well coached in special teams. And the thing I pointed out the most in our special teams meeting on Monday was just the effort that they give, even on, like I always talk about, PAT field goal block. And they've got some guys that can bring the pressure in the A gap, and they're playing against Branson last week, and that guard's on his butt 3 yards in the backfield on PAT field goal. I mean, those guys are going to bring it, and they do that in every single unit, special teams wise, and then offensively, just a lot of different ways that they can attack you with some different athletes. And like I said, defensively, they have a great scheme. They play that. They're very confident in it. They've changed some things, given a couple different looks, whether it be 4 down or 3 downs, but just do a lot of great things. They're very well coached, and obviously, it's going to be a big, tough matchup for us down there.
What can we expect to see out of them offensively? What kind of sets are they running?
So they like to run the football. I mean, that's what helps them kind of do everything else they want to do offensively. And at number 2, their running back's a really good football player. He's one of the best we'll face all season. He's strong. He runs extremely hard. We've got to do a great job of wrapping him up. You see him not just make plays there, but now they've got him back there returning kicks. And teams are spraying the ball all over the place besides kicking it back to him because they don't want to have to try and tackle him running full speed downhill. So we can expect him to get a lot of touches in the game. It really kind of takes some pressure off of their pass game and just allows the quarterback, number 17, to go out there and make some plays. He's got some pretty good receivers as well, number 1 and number 8 on the perimeter, run some really good routes, and they've got ways they can get behind you. But if they're going to they give you stuff, or if we give them stuff underneath, they're going to try and take that as well. So multiple kind of base out of what we call flex and heavy, bringing the tight end or double tight ends on the field, and just the ability to run the football really kind of sets up the rest of their offense.
Are they big up front?
Yeah, they've got some size. They've got
historically
some size.
They have been.
Yeah, they're Carl Junction from what I've seen in the past. They've got some great athletes. They've got some big guys, and but yeah, we're going to have our hands full up front. We've obviously got what we believe to be a great game plan, but now we just got to go out and execute and take care of the football in all phases and try and win that turnover margin and just execute well on third down in a game that's going to be a tight game like this one.
And defensively, what do they run?
Multiple. We're going to see 4 down front. We're going to see 3 down front. Just different situational calls that they're going to call. So we've got to kind of have an idea of, okay, when they're going to switch to this, when they're going to switch to that, but also got to prepare for both. Luckily, we've faced all throughout the season. So our guys who are running every play this week versus both, just to make sure our guys are going out and executing at a high level and have confidence, whether it be a simplified game plan or really kind of change some things up this week. Want to make sure that they understand, okay, this is our blocking scheme for this. This is how we're going to adjust if they change to this front. This is how we're going to adjust if this guy walks up. So, but no, they do a great job of moving guys around, and they do what they do defensively. They're not going to try and change things a whole lot. They're going to trust their guys to go out and make plays because they got great players on that side of the ball.
And it's always a pretty fun atmosphere. They've got a nice stadium down there right by their school.
Yeah,
they always have a big crowd.
They'll have a good crowd, and it's a nice place to play.
It's a big
This
time.
will be my first time ever coaching or playing there. I never played there in high school, so this will be a new experience there. I think I've been recruiting there once, but I've struggled trying to find a post-game meal in Carl Junction, so I'm going to have to order something from Joplin or Webb City on our way through.
Yeah, that's our go-to.
Casey's right there.
Go-to. So you got to get Casey's.
May have to order something from somewhere else, but no, it everything that you can see on film, it looks like a great atmosphere. And then everywhere they played, I mean, they played in front of tough crowds too, over in Seneca, and just playing in tough environments there. And they're a really good football team, and some of the scores have shown that.
Yeah, they're coming off a 2-game losing streak. They lost to Seneca, which that's an old rivalry with them from the Big Eight, and Seneca beats them 42-7, and that's one of the top teams, like I said, in Class 3. And then last week they lost to Branson, and they were ahead in that game most of the game, and Branson came back and beat them at the end.
And they made some plays too, like plays they needed to try and stay in that game or to try and win the game with a 4th down fake punt and just different things there. A fake field goal, like different things they're trying to do to change the momentum and go out and win a big game like that. And they were right there. I think it was 35-32 or something like that, and had a lot of chances to finish that one off there at Branson in front of their home crowd. So that was a tough game, and obviously they played that one really well.
They're 4-3 on the season, but they've had some just kind of odd scores. Log Rock beat them. Didn't expect that, but Log Rock's a good team too.
They are.
They're better than what we
I watched their Marshfield game, which that was crazy the way that game started out too. It just the worst plays you wouldn't want for an offense. The first 2 plays offensively for Marshfield were both safeties. The first 2 offensive plays were safeties, and that's just tough to bounce back from, especially whenever Rogersville's offense is rolling like they are, and that receiver, he is already probably up over 800, 900 yards receiving. He can get behind a defense and change the game, and then they've got a running back that can attack you as well. So, and with Carl Junction's running back, I think he's already over 1,100 yards rushing this year.
Wow.
So he's a guy who can really he can run, pound the football, and we got to do a great job wrapping up. I know that's something Coach Conrad and the defensive staff have really been talking about this week, because he's got the size, he's got the weight that he can run through those arm tackles. Obviously, he's got a strong lower body and does a really good job running the football.
We talked about all the injuries we had last week. Any of those guys going to be back this week?
We're slowly starting to get some of those guys back, but again, just monitoring. Okay, is this really the week we want to try and bring them back? Are we putting them too much at a risk to bring them back early? We've got some guys kind of working back into practice, but also like with Wyatt kicking today, I was like, hey, how you feeling? He's like, I feel pretty good. And I was like, okay, we'll kick one more. He's like, I kind of felt it on that. I was like, don't do anything else. Like, you're good, dude. We're not playing a game today. So he was only kicking at about 70%, but he was kicking like he was a few weeks ago, where he was putting the ball closer to the end zone. So slowly starting to work those guys back in, but also just being smart about they need to see the reps. They need to see them throughout the week in practice. It's difficult to go out there and just play at a high level when you're not getting those practice reps. So some of those guys might be back on the field. Some of them might be coming back as a backup role. Just get them out there, kind of ease them back in, see how they're doing, and then by Rogersville, hopefully get them back to where they're practicing all week, and or possibly the week of district. So slowly starting to get some of those guys back. Some of them we'll have to wait and see, but just trying to get those guys back, but be super smart about it as well.
It's kind of like walking a tightrope. They want to be there. They want to get out there. They're begging to be out there.
There's
Coach,
nobody,
put me in.
There's nobody that's wanted to be out there more than Waylon Cooper, who's been out this whole season. And that kid, I feel so bad for him. He wants to be on the field, and we would love to have him on the field. He is an electric player as a freshman. Could be doing a lot of things for us offensively, defensively, special teams wise, but we just got to be smart about getting those guys on the field, and don't want something that's going to injure them going into another sport, going into basketball season, or injure them to where we don't have them the rest of the season when districts start. So there's just a lot of strategy that goes along with
hard
that.
Decisions to make.
Yeah.
Things have changed since I played. Back then
it was different.
Tape and aspirin to it, country clever.
Exactly. I've said country clovers 3 times this week. So country clovers.
I got 2 broken ribs, Coach. Tape and aspirin to it, country clever.
This kid's just sitting over there flying the drone all week in practice. Too many guys hanging out by my truck during practice. So. We're slowly getting them back though.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Well, all right, we're going to send it back for another commercial break. We'll be right back, and we will talk about conference games last week. We touched on a little bit of one between Marshfield and Lod Rod, but we'll talk about the rest of them. You are watching the Coach's Corner on MostSportsZone.com, listening on Your Country 99.
Let's face it, renter's insurance isn't top of mind until, well, it's top of mind. That's why it can be important as a renter to make sure you have the coverage you need at a price you can afford, because you've worked hard for your stuff, right? Your local State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right renter's insurance that best fits your needs without the headache. Let's start helping protect your stuff with renter's insurance from State Farm today.
Diana Andrews, 326-2636.
Has your local bank stopped feeling local? Hello, this is Matt Hennenberg with Grand Missouri Bank. At Grand Missouri Bank, we are proud to be the only locally chartered bank in Bolivar, with local owners and decisions made right here at 1630 South Killingsworth. You'll always work with our friendly, experienced team. From offering personalized financial services to building lasting relationships, whether you're borrowing or depositing, we're here for you. Come see us at Grand Missouri Bank, Bolivar's true community bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
HMI Fireplace is here to serve your community and promote local youth sports programs. It's in HMI's history to keep your home safe and to be on the ball when winter strikes. Come into HMI Fireplace and let them write up the best defense for Old Man Winter today. Look them up online at HMIFireplaceShop.com or give them a call.
No one warns you like
Drilling, the action of making a hole in something by boring with a drill. Sounds simple, right? Well, it's not, especially when it comes to water wells, geothermal drilling, and environmental monitoring. With over 20 years experience, Jeremy McCarthy and his crews at McCarthy Drilling will have your project completed efficiently and effectively using state-of-the-art drill rigs. Don't leave your drilling to just anyone. Contact the experts at McCarthy Drilling in Halfway. McCarthy Drilling done right.
Welcome back to the coaches. Gosh,
where we at?
easy for you to say. Coach's Corner, live from Barge's Pizza, just south of the Bolivar Square. Matt Hennenberg here, along with Sutton Medley coach Robert Clardy, and we'll talk about last week's games in the conference. Of course, our Liberators got a 28-7 win over Hillcrest, so that was a good one. Branson 35, CJ 32. We talked a little bit about it. CJ was ahead most of the game. Branson came back. We were watching that score because we're looking at our district stuff. Who do we need help? We need Branson to win. They finally did it. Did you get a chance to? I'm sure you got to watch that one.
We watched that one. It came down to if you can get Branson out of what they want to do, if you can stretch that lead far enough and make them one-dimensional where they don't, or they can't have the ability to just run the football like they love, then you've got a better chance. But if they can keep it close, then it just gets difficult, especially late in the game, whenever the wear and tear starts to happen on the body. And Branson came through with the win on that one.
And then West Plains hosted Poplar Bluff. We had this one wrong because on where we get our scores, they had it backwards. They had Poplar Bluff 42, West Plains 12, and we were like, wow, that because Poplar Bluff is not that good, but it was wrong, and it looks like West Plains pretty much handled business against the Mules from Poplar Bluff, and we probably don't know anything about Poplar Bluff, so we're not really going to talk much about them. So, and those really were our three conference games. Let's talk a little bit about the district right now, and I know you haven't looked at it. That's what you're going to say because you're a coach, but we'll worry about this week. Right now, West Plains number 1 at 5-2 with 44.74 points. Log Rog 6-1, they're number 2 with 43.88 points. Carl Junction with a 4-3 record, 42. Monette, who got beat last week, and they go to Cassville, so that's going to be a tough game.
Another one for them.
They're 4-3 with 33.57. We're 5th, jumping from 7th. That was a good jump at 3-4 with 32.29. Mack County 4-3 with 31.9. They go to Central Kansas City. That'll be a long bus trip. And then Marshfield at the bottom with 29.24. We're still in a pretty good position, Coach, to get a home game to start it off.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff. So,
well, you need to. We need the home game.
I know, and that's obviously I want to be 1-0 at the end of the week, but I don't know a whole lot about that. The coaches are telling me. So we were sitting in the weight room after the game, and I was here. Coach Greger was like, "Yeah, once you put our score in, it'll change our district standings." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, put our score in and Misha." So I went on to Misha, logged in, and put our score in, and I hit enter, and he's like, "Yeah, see, we jumped from here to 4th or 5th." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "It all depends. It's all a calculation based on who you play, the classification that they're in, how many points you win by. So winning by more than 13 or whatever." And I was like, "Okay." So I was like, I know we got to win. And so, and then we got some tough ones, obviously, with the number 2 and 3 team, I think, in district seeding. And it doesn't look like Mack County's going to lose. Maybe finishing out. Both of their teams that they finished with both have losing records. I think they're 2-4 or 1-5 or something like that. So it looks like they can probably finish out. We got to expect that they will, and so we just got to go out and control what we can control, and that's trying to take care of business this week, and then see how everything else kind of shakes out after that.
Kind of the way we penciled it out is, for us to get a home game, we're going to have to win one of the next 2 games.
For sure.
And we want to win both of them, and then maybe get 2 home games, because it does make a difference when you're in districts. So if you got to travel to West Plains, we've done that before. If you got to travel to CJ, those are long road trips. That gets, it's end of the season. It's just kind of rough. But, like we said on the air, just take care of business. When the next 2 games, you're going to get a home game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and even this is a situation, too, where even if we can play really close, that's going to help us also, because since they're both ahead of us, but then it depends on what the other teams do. It's quite a formula.
And then you can be behind somebody, but if you beat them head-to-head at the end of the year, they bump you up. Yeah. So it is a crazy formula that they have for that.
It is.
So,
it is.
It's a little bit different. And of course, this week we've got Hillcrest at Parkview. You got Log Rog at Branson. That's a big game in our conference. Obviously, Marshfield at West Plains, and of course us at Carl Junction. And we got a chance to be the spoiler in this game. I don't think that Marshfield can travel to West Plains and beat the Zizzers. The Log Rock Branson game, that's going to be pretty interesting.
That will be a good game. I'm kind of excited to see what Branson's defense can kind of stack up to the offense, and then also flip side, see how Rogersville's defense does, because everybody's been talking about Rogersville's offense this year and how explosive they are. Well, I want to see kind of how their defense matches up versus Branson's run game and see how physical they are.
We need Branson to knock them off. I know that.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to be rooting for the Pirates. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back. We're going to have Kyle Smith, the head volleyball coach from Bolivar High School here. Thanks, Coach, for being with us, and we'll talk to you Friday night. Best of luck at Carl Junction.
Good luck.
You're watching the Coach's Corner on MoSportsZone.com, listening on Your Country 99.
Bold transformations start at MD Lux Aesthetics and Med Spa in Bolivar. Lose weight with personalized solutions. Balance your body with expert hormone therapy. Revitalize your skin with powerful laser treatments. And refresh your look with precision injections. Every journey begins with a $50 consultation credited towards your service when you move forward. Find them on Facebook or find them behind Bill Roberts Chevrolet. Step into the future of beauty and wellness, where cutting-edge science meets self-care. MD Lux Aesthetics and Med Spa.
Mid-Missouri Bank has crossed another huge benchmark. They've paid their Midmo customers more than $8 million in Casasa rewards. Join Midmo in the race to $10 million. Get in on your share of the earnings today. Whether it's cash back on debit card swipes or a high interest rate on checking and savings account balances, Midmo Bank pays you for the spending activity you're probably already doing. You deserve more for your money. How does more money sound? Open an account in minutes at openaccounts.midmobank.com. Mid-Missouri Bank. Member FDIC.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Ask Craig Lehman about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
Is anything better than a hot, cheesy slice of pizza fresh out of the oven? Barge's Pizza in Bolivar believes great pizza is meant to be shared. Grabbing lunch with coworkers, feeding the whole family, or surprising a neighbor just because. There's one golden rule. Be nice. Share a slice. Bubbling pepperoni to fresh margarita with mozzarella, basil, and vine-ripened tomatoes. Every bite's made with love and meant to be shared. Make someone's day delicious. In Bolivar, south of the square on Main Street. Barge's Pizza.
At Animal Care Clinic, they're not just another veterinary clinic. They're your pet's best friend. Their team, led by Doctors Levin and Lindsay Roten, offer top-notch care for all animals, big and small. From intensive care and checkups to pet supplies and grooming, they've got it covered. Keep your furry friend healthy and happy. Schedule an appointment today at animalcarebolivar.com. That's animalcarebolivar.com. Animal Care Clinic. Their name says it all.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner, live from Barge's Pizza, just south of the Bolivar Square. Man, it smells good, too. Come down here and get you some. I know Big Mike's going to have something for us. We'll have it on the air in just a minute. But right now, we are joined by Kyle Smith, head volleyball coach at Bolivar High School. Coach Smith, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, boys.
So tell us a little bit how you got to Bolivar, your background.
Well, I said kind of off the air that might take a little bit, but I'll keep it as short as possible. So I've been coaching youth sports for a long time. I actually started coaching youth sports when I was probably in high school, doing some lessons, and started with the swim team. So that's what I'm going into in the winter. I'm head coach of our girls swim team as well. And then got into volleyball a little later in life. I've been playing it, reffing it, and coaching other things, but playing and reffing volleyball my whole life. And so once I got into that, I've coached a little bit in Tennessee. Coached a little bit in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Been out in California for 4 years. Ran my own beach volleyball club. Coached indoor club. Coached high school. A little bit of USA volleyball stuff down in Southern California. And so eventually I came out here to Missouri. And
you were in California, sunny California, and Virginia.
Now let's correct that. I was not in sunny California. I was in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, okay.
My Bakersfield people would.
That's a pretty big circle. That's a pretty big circle.
So,
Absolutely.
It's good. It's been great to be back in Missouri, and I'm an SBU grad, so it's great to be back in Bolivar. And around a lot of familiar people and good people, and be here and have a family and be a part of the Liberators has been great. It's been a great 6-7 years, and just really appreciate the support of the community and what we've been able to do with our program.
Now, you've been head coach here for how long?
I get confused between swim and volleyball because when I started in the district, I was a 7th grade volleyball coach, and then freshman coach, and then varsity. So I think it's my 5th year as the head varsity coach.
Okay, but you were here a little bit before that.
I was helping out with some other parts of the program.
Okay.
So head swim 7, but head volleyball 5.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's just been a while, but it's been that long. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What years were you at SBU?
2000, 2004.
Okay.
Well, Sutton's going to ask the volleyball questions.
Yeah, you've had a good week. Well, a good couple of weeks, actually. Tell us a little bit about the Eldo tournament you just competed in.
Yeah, Saturday we had a great tournament. The girls showed up. We started off a little rough in our first match, but some of the teams we had to play are peaking at, they're having some great years this year. They've had some rough years in the past, but we played a Butler team that I think had lost maybe a couple matches all season.
Wow.
Right out the gate at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we did not compete well in the first set, but we came out in the second set and showed what we were capable of. Went up against a Clinton team, back and forth, lost by 2 both sets, but 25-27, I think, and 23-25. Girls are really starting to come together. Transitions looking good. The flow's looking good. And they're having a blast. I mean, they are having a good time. And when they have a good time, we play a whole lot better. So we ended up playing Eldo for the Silver Championship. Man, that match just went back and forth. They've got a great outside hitter. And some solid players. They're well coached, well trained, and so it's hard to play on their turf sometimes. But our girls played really well.
Now, for those not familiar, when you go to a tournament like that, you play all day long.
Yeah, I mean we had a favorable schedule. We didn't ever have to play back to back until the very end.
Yeah.
And even then, we still probably had about a half an hour or so off. So, but sometimes you can end up playing back to back. We've been to tournaments where we've played 9 games in a row, 9 sets in a row in volleyball, and that gets pretty long.
Yeah. Now, in the tournaments, also you play winners of 2 matches. It moves on, or do you play the best out of 5? Do you play the 3?
A lot of times it just depends on how the format is. So each tournament can be a little different. Like I kind of created and we hosted a crossover with the OMC and the CMAC with like Jeff City, Elias, Rockbridge, those schools. And we went down to Allison Sportstown, and that was a predetermined schedule where you played 3 teams from the other conference, so you didn't ever have to play somebody from your own conference.
That's a good idea.
It just depends on the format and the day and how they want to run their tournament.
Yeah. Question I've had a lot of people ask me, you came up with this with the outside volleyball game. That was 2 years, that wasn't this year, it was last year when you first did that, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Where'd that come from?
So Nebraska did it the year before. And it was coming up on the anniversary, and we saw some pictures and images kind of coming up reminding us that they had done it. And I've got a parent of a volleyball player who's a big Nebraska fan, and I just kind of messaged him an image and said, wouldn't that be great if we did this? And I think within about 48 hours, we had a pretty solid plan. We had approval from a brand new superintendent who easily could have been putting the kibosh on that. We had people that really believed in what we were trying to do, and we had some people willing to help us support it, fund it. Tony Wilson went out there and found a sport court that we could just buy, because to rent those can be in the tens of thousands of dollars. And he donated it to the program so we can use it every year and use it for various things. And just, I mean, it has been something the girls love now, looking forward to. But in the moment, they have a blast with it. We back the trucks up like, I don't know, a little bit of a college baseball fan. I think it's Mississippi State has their field where they back all these trucks and RVs up. And so it kind of has that little box seat feel to it. So we have a great time with it.
And in Nebraska, they play theirs in Memorial Stadium. Right? There's 98,000 people watching that.
Fill the stadium. That's right. And we've had teams in our area now that's mimicked that too. They're going to it as well.
Yeah, we actually let other teams in our area rent our court.
Okay.
And so we put a little bit of that into our fundraising. All of it goes into our fundraising, but the court now can go other places. They can come pick it up from us and set it up. So Mountain Grove did the first sanctioned game in our region, but they've used it down at Central played Parkview the other night on Drury's soccer field.
Wow.
And it was a big thing on KY3. And so we've tried to hand it out and hand it around. I know we were talking about Jeff City just recently, they just played in Adkins Stadium. Jeff City played Southern Boone. They had a little moisture issue at the end, so they moved the varsity game indoors. But the rest of the matches were all played outdoors. They did their pink out as part of that too. So they just had Adkins Stadium, big old football state track meet stadium full of people watching volleyball. So
outstanding. Very good. Very good. Your seniors, who are your seniors?
So Abby Kaufman is a middle hitter for us, and she's been on varsity for 4 years, 3-year starter. Heidi Roten is a 4-year varsity starter. She was the libero from day one her freshman year. The last couple of years, we kind of needed her to help with our offense a little bit more than our defense, and so she was an outside hitter, 6 rotations for us. But she's played 6 rotations.
She can do anything.
And then Aubrey Cowden, she's come up. She's done a lot of different things over the years for us at the lower levels and at varsity, between defensive specialists, setting. She's got an excellent serve that's really aggressive. And so she's been setting for us this year, as well as doing a little bit of offense attacking. So,
and Heidi and Abby made all tournament at Eldo, I believe.
Yes, they were both on the all tournament team. They also received watch list honors for the AVCA All American. Last year, Abby was one of the AVCA phenoms, so an underclassman, kind of at the level of an All American. She's committed to Kansas Wesleyan. Heidi's still not sure where she's going or what she wants to do.
That doesn't surprise me.
But they're all three of them have been amazing leaders for our program, on and off the court. They've really brought up our younger kids along and carrying the torch between classes. And if you think about it, Heidi was a freshman when her older sister Cora was a senior, and so that was my second year as head coach, and I can clearly see that torch being passed from when Cora was a junior and we had a great senior class and we were district runners up to Jeff City. Over the years, that torch has continued to pass, and Heidi and Abby and Aubrey have done that well as seniors.
Very good. Well, we've watched them for years, and they always seem to have fun with whatever they're doing, and they do it lighthearted. Don't get me wrong; their intensity is superb. It's superb, but they enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, we talk a lot about playing with passion, and in volleyball, playing with intentionality. It's almost more important where you put it than how hard you get it there.
Yeah.
If I hit a ball as hard as I possibly want, but there's a block in front of me or a defender right behind it, it doesn't matter. I got to put it where they ain't.
Yeah.
And so we talk about passion, intentionality, and then we talk about execution. If you've got a game plan, you execute it, you can be really productive and successful.
Yeah.
So those are 3 key areas we talk about.
I've noticed your intensity, and seems like you're enjoying yourself when you're out there too. I like to watch you coach. It's I've seen a lot of volleyball coaches over the year, and you kind of mold the best of both worlds, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure the girls do too. I'd say you're fun to play for.
Well, you'd have to ask them. I don't know. I have really tried to grow as a coach every year. Every year I try to get a little bit better. If I'm asking them to do it, I got to do it myself. And so I even ask for feedback from girls out season, in season, like, hey, what is it that I say that motivates you? What's the thing that's helping you right now? What is something I'm doing that's not helping you right now?
Right.
And just try to take that feedback. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to coach each individual different. I'm not capable of doing that to some extent, but understanding what this generation needs different than 10 years ago when I was coaching, or 20 years ago.
Sure.
And so I think that helps. I also think just, again, if I'm asking them for passion, intentionality, and execution, I got to do the same. So I got to prep, I got to watch film, I got to prepare for practice, and I got to be passionate, I got to be intentional with my relationships with them and with my planning.
It comes directly. It comes directly from the top. There's no doubt about it. Bolivar versus Hillcrest be your district game on the 22nd. Looks like. Do we have a game between now and then?
Our senior night's tomorrow night, home match.
Okay.
So we'll start freshman at 4:30. Varsity will start usually somewhere between 6:30. We'll do the senior night ceremony for the 3 seniors between JV's end and varsity's warm-ups. But that's our last home match of the season, and we start preparing for districts next week.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes already. Can't go on without mentioning the loss of a super fan you had this last year with Tom Wilson.
Yes, Tom's he was at every match, and a lot of times he showed up early for the lower.
I didn't know that about the big dog.
Oh my gosh, yes, he was huge.
So his son Tony's the one that helped us with the outdoor game. His granddaughter Raina is now a freshman at Central Methodist University, playing on their reserve team, and And so Tom, man, you could hear him in the stands. You could hear him cheering for the girls, and he loved every minute of it. And this is definitely missed.
I've seen Tom in a lot of sports situations, and normally he is very positive, and he was there too.
Yeah.
Very encouraging, very positive, and I'm kind of like Matt. Matt showed a little bit of surprise there. The first time I walked in and I seen him, I thought, well, what's Tom doing here? So I looked around, I thought, that's what Tom's doing here. And then it was Tom as normal doing his thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's, I'm glad to hear that.
Where will your districts be held?
We're at Webb City.
Yeah.
Okay.
First round, we play Hillcrest. We got a rematch with them. We've, been looking at what happened last time, what we can do different, how we can execute differently. We feel like we kind of came out strong and took the foot off the gas a little bit. So we've got some things we think we can do well against them.
And the winner gets Webb City.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, you hate to pencil somebody in, but I think it's pretty well set. We got to play in the dome against the home.
Yeah.
So it's a tough matchup. They lost a really big hitter in the offseason to a transfer, and but they've got. They just reload, and they're really solid, really well coached.
I bet they got 3 transfers from somewhere else. It was like their football
That's
program.
possible. That's possible.
Well, not this year, but Rhonda does a great job coaching those girls up, and they're going to be tough no matter who comes up against them.
I see. Well, we need to send it back. Thank you, Kyle, for being on here. Best of luck in districts, and going forward, I'm going to try and make the outdoor match next year.
Do it. Yeah, it's great.
All right, we're going to send it back to the studio. You're watching the Coach's Corner on MoSportsZone.com, listening on Your Country 99.
Mr. Google wants you to think you can fix your car on the internet. If you can just figure out what's wrong without talking to those greedy dealers, you'll save lots of money. At Bill Grant Ford, our appointment book fills every week with people who started on Google. And you might be surprised to know the labor rate in our shop is not the highest in town. What we can do for you is bring experience and training to a world filled with internet noise. We encourage you to be informed when it comes to maintaining your vehicle. And when your vehicle starts asking for help, see why it's better in Bolivar at Bill Grant Ford.
Hey gang, wherever you are, CNC Farm and Home in Bolivar and Lebanon has you covered. Complete clothing department for both men and women. Their hardware, electrical, and plumbing departments have what you need to get that job done right. For the farm, CNC has fencing supplies from pipe gates, hog wire, and animal health supplies. And for our furry friends, CNC has toys for cat and dog food and, of course, dog houses. You can depend on the Colemans at CNC Farm and Home in Bolivar and Lebanon.
Hey, this is Paul at CNC Farm and Home Supply. If you have the questions, we have the answer.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Why can't I say Coach's Corner
I don't know.
tonight, Sutton?
I hope this isn't the start of something.
Live from Barge's Pizza just south of the Bolivar Square. We're going to get Big Mike over here. We're going to talk about our picks last week and our upcoming picks. He's got us, well, I don't know what he's bringing us here. He's going to bring us some food, too. We'll get a picture of that. We will be on the air about 6:45 from Carl Junction over in Jasper County. Let's see, we got a dessert pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That's a chocolate chip dessert.
Well, that's got the spinach. That's we've had. Oh, that's wonderful.
That there's the Ranch Romano, boys. That's got chicken, spinach, tomatoes, mushrooms, all the good stuff.
I like everything.
Are you getting that, Ken?
Everything I see, I like in there.
So
I'm telling you, I've gained 15 pounds since we started this coach's show.
Well,
you're killing me, Mike. You're killing me.
it's not 20.
I don't want to weigh 360 again,
Hey.
okay? All right, well, let's talk about last week's picks. And the Bolivar Hillcrest, we all picked Bolivar, so we got up on that one. Branson, CJ, Suddy, you picked CJ. The rest of us picked Branson, so we got one up on him there. West Plains, Poplar Bluff, I had to try and make something happen. I picked the Mules, and you guys all picked West Plains. Not a smart move on my part. And then Log Rog and Marshfield, and we all picked Log Rog. And Log Rog won. We all picked MU. They lost, man. That was a tough one.
That was a great game to watch.
I'm really glad I was on the golf course at that point.
It was a great game.
I was at the SBU game, but I had an earplug in. And, we got the ball inside the 40 twice in the last 3 minutes and threw picks. Man, that's just a heartbreak.
I probably would have had a hole in my TV, would be my guess. My wife would have been really proud of me that day.
Well, and then we all picked SBU. And let me tell you this, you talk about a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I heard about it.
They scored on their first Bolivar, or they kicked off to SBU. They scored on their first play from scrimmage. They were never down until 8 seconds left in the game. There's a minute 50 left in the ball game. They stop us on fourth down. We punt it on third down. We punt it inside the 4. So they got 96 yards to go with 140, and they score with 8 seconds left.
Oh,
I didn't
even know that.
Abated by 2 pass interference calls. So just terrible
Is that anything
way.
like a targeting call in a Mizzou game?
Yeah. So we all lost that one as well. So Sutton, you went 3-3. Clay, he went 4-2. Mike went 4-2, and I went 3-3. So we skipped a week because I was out. I didn't, but we're going to say for the year, Clay's winning right now, 25-11. Mike and Sutton, you're both 24-12, and I'm 21-15.
There's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
I'm going to have to pick some really dandies this next couple of weeks. So this week we have Hillcrest at Parkview. Sutty, who you got?
You know, this is a tough one. It really is.
Hey, you know,
tough one.
Hillcrest had a lot of penalties, and they were moving the ball, and they'd get 3 penalties in a row and kill a drive.
The first half, it was a brand new Hillcrest team, and they looked good. They looked disciplined, and then it just all kind of fell apart. I'm going to take Hillcrest.
Ooh, Sutton goes with Hillcrest. Clay picked Parkview. Mike, who you like?
Judging by what I think I got to go Parkview.
I'm going with Parkview as well.
I'm just going off the way they both played us.
I understand.
All right, here's the next one. Log Rog at Branson. Branson barely beat Carl Junction. They are playing at Branson. Log Rog's been pretty tough. And Clay picked Branson. Mike, who do you got?
Well, I need to make one up, but I also don't want to lose one. I'm going to go with Branson also. Home team here.
I had written Branson down, but I'm going Log Rog. And we'll see. I needed to get something happen. It was a coin toss anyways. I only picked Branson because they were at home. Sutton, who you got?
I'm going to go with Log Rog.
Oh, man, he's killing me over here. He's backdooring me, ain't he? All right, Bolivar at CJ. And Mike, who you got?
I'm going to go with our boys. I think this is the week we put it all together.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Liberators as well. Sutty?
I always go with the Liberators.
And Clay picked the Liberators as well. We're not homers or anything like that.
I am. I'm a homer.
And then we have Marshfield at West Plains. I'm going to go with the Zizzers. Marshfield, man, they're just struggling this year. So
I hope Marshfield makes it out.
I hope they win, but
I hope they make it out of Howe County and get back to Webster County. But they're going to get their socks beat off of them down there.
Yeah, so you're picking West Plains.
So.
Clay picked West Plains. Mike, you're going with West Plains as well.
I'd like to go the other way, but
all right, MU at Auburn, and guys, this is kind of a trap game for us. Coming off a close loss to Alabama, Auburn is not a bad team. We got another tough game next week. Who you got, Suddy?
I'm going to take MU in this because I think Drink will get them. I think he'll get them where they need to be. Our quarterback has a little something to prove. He's got something to prove, and it looked like when they came off the field, they were all kind of mad to me. So I like that.
Clay picked MU as well. Mike?
I'm going to go with Mizzou. Again, a homer. But I think had they beat Alabama, I'd be more apt to pick Auburn. And Auburn really can't score.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with Mizzou.
I'm going with the Tigers as well. And then SBU travels to Upper Iowa along the road trip. And Clay picked SBU. Mike, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Bearcats. I don't know anything about Upper Iowa, but Bearcats seem to be playing pretty good football this year.
They're just so close.
Just a couple of games.
They're about 5 plays away from
one
being
or two plays.
undefeated.
Exactly, 1 or 2 plays. Now you can get treated really bad when you're in Iowa.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah, I've been to a college football game or two in Iowa. Upper Iowa lost to pretty stoutly to Truman State, who's the top of the conference, and that's going to be our opponent next week here in Bolivar. But I'm going to go with the boys too and to pick SBU.
Same here.
All right. So we won't have any swing at all in this one. We got pizza here tonight. What is this again?
It's called the Ranch Romano. You got the chicken, and it's obviously a ranch base with spinach, tomatoes, and mushrooms. Got a lot of flavor bases
This is the chocolate chip.
That's the chocolate
dessert.
chip. I figured since Clay, I figured I'd have it out here.
You know,
since you weren't here.
He always dies for this one when the first hand he gets.
Yeah, he'd already be eating on that one.
On your Friday night buffet.
Oh,
the
yeah.
first thing he does, he goes right straight to the pizza to the
Dessert pizza.
Oh, yeah, make sure you get
and
that
he
first.
looks and see if it's in there.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight from Barge's Pizza, and we'll be on the air 6:45 as the Liberators travel to Carl Junction Friday night to take on the Carl Junction Bulldogs in the Ozark Mountain Conference game. Clay will be back with us then, and so thank you and for watching the Coach's Corner on MoSportsZone.com, listening on Your Country 99.
Thanks for joining Coach's Corner here on Your Country 99 and in 4K on MoSportsZone.com. Being